The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of KSMQ Public Service Media Incorporated or its assigns.
Hello and welcome to On Cue. I'm your host, Eric Olson. Today we have a special episode featuring the Austin Bruins. And of course, we'll get a Vision 2020 update. That's later. Stay with us. On Cue is coming up next.
From KSMQ Television in Austin, this is On Cue, connecting interesting issues and interesting people. On Cue.
The Austin Bruins is a junior A hockey team that came to Austin in 2010, and they have been a ton of fun for the community. I can attest to that personally. It's a blast to go to the games. Today we're going to talk with players and head coach Chris Talk. We'll start with our players, goalie Nick Lair and defenseman Josh Brentner. Welcome.
Thank you.
And you know, when we were talking before we went on, I had to apologize because we go to the games, but I don't recognize you by faces because you've got those masks on and stuff. But it's a lot of fun, and you're returning third year.
Yep.
And second year back with Austin. You come over from Maryland.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
Well, we play, it's called Tier 1 AAA hockey, a U18 team. And we travel across the country. We play in California, Boston a lot, just any hockey hotbed. And I guess Talk saw me play there, and he called me up and he asked if I wanted to play for the Austin Bruins, because after the U18 AAA hockey, you go and play juniors. Because the juniors, you're playing with older kids, it helps you develop more. And the Division I schools really like that, and they like to see kids really develop. So you can't just go from AAA. Really, you can, but you have to be the best of the best. So most kids come here and play juniors, like me and Nick.
Okay.
And so he called me, he was like, would you like to play for us? And he told me what they had to offer, and I liked the sound of it, so I came here to Austin.
So Nick, this is kind of an age-specific league? Or you're in between something? Or
it's kind of the stepping stone between going to college and coming from high school or AAA like Brentner. A lot of guys from high school and AAA, they'll go play juniors for about 2-3 years. You can play juniors until you're 21 years old, and then after that you got to head to college, either D3 or D1.
So you are hoping, not to put thoughts in, but just so the folks understand, you are hoping that you're playing, you're winning for Austin, but at the same time people are watching your play?
Exactly, yeah. At most of our games, there's Division I scouts. So all the colleges who want to look at our players and have interest in our players come to our games, and that's how we get noticed to get the scholarship that we all play junior hockey for and try and play Division I hockey.
Okay. And then do you, like one day, would you just be gone? Like, does that happen like mid-season? Like somebody goes to college or something, or does it work that way?
You always play your full year of juniors. You never just leave and end up leaving. You always have to enroll into school, and it's all about getting that scholarship and getting a good education into school, and you're starting right when the school year starts. So you play your years of juniors, and then you head to college.
Okay. And so it was a good experience for you coming from Maryland that you come back again, or the coach calls and said, hey, we want to bring you back?
Yeah, I had a great experience here last year. Coach Talk really developed my game drastically, and that it makes the game more fun when you see your improvements and you know how you got there. I just wanted me coming back for more, so I came back, and hopefully Talk will help me get that scholarship that I want. Yeah.
And Nick, talk about the season for folks that weren't following it too well. The Bruins did very well.
Last year we had a great season. We won our Central Division. We had one of the best records in the league. I think we were second or third in the league last year. And we went to playoffs. Fortunately, we lost in the second round playoffs to Bismarck. They were the second team in our division. And I mean, it was a great season. We had a few D1 commits, a lot of D3 guys, and I mean, we're hoping to do the same thing this year. So
what you mean by that is at the end of the season, a few of your co-player teammates did go on and get scholarships. That's what what you mean. Okay, so you have to fill some of those slots in with other players.
Right.
And where do you travel in the conference? How far away do you go during the season?
Last year, the farthest we went to was Minot, North Dakota. But we play in both in the Dakotas and in Minnesota. And last year we played in Wisconsin too, but the divisions got realigned. So now we don't play that team in Wisconsin anymore, but we do go to Alaska. It's a 10-day trip to Alaska where I think we leave on a Monday and we play sometime, I guess, midweek there. We play 2 teams because there's 2 teams there. So in the 10-day span, I guess we have our games, get a week, and then have the other games, and then we head home.
They're in your conference? No, they're not in the conference,
They're not in our division, no.
They're not.
Oh, or division, sorry.
Division, but it's on the schedule.
Yeah. So what's the style of play like? And here I'm going to show my ignorance. If you haven't figured it out already, I'm not a big hockey expert. But I know there's terms like finesse play. There's different styles of play in hockey. Is there a certain type that is, part of the Bruins style, or not really?
Yeah, there definitely is. I think we're more of a fast-paced team. Like, we don't really, like you said, try and finesse the puck as much. We do have individual players who have very good stick skills and can finesse the puck, but we like to get the puck and we go and put the pressure on the other team to keep up with our pace and our play, because a lot of teams aren't as fast as us. So when we're flying, it's hard for them to process mentally where they need to be, where how they need to defend us, and then it causes a lot of problems for the other team, and that's how we capitalize and score.
Okay. Who decides who gets to come out at the beginning when it's dark and the music starts blasting and the dry ice starts coming up, and the lights are going all around?
I mean, that's our coach. He picks the lineup. The guys are always pumped. If you're in that starting lineup, it's more of an adrenaline thing, and the fans are gonna be going nuts, and it's always a great time in Austin.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it builds excitement. And then I was also saying, we were talking beforehand, that as I started to go to games last season, I would notice there's these people that have they have extra baseball hats. They're wearing one hat, and then they have another one hooked onto their belt. Fans sitting around, I'm going, what is that? Why are they doing that? And you gave me the answer.
Yeah, it's for a player scores 3 goals. It's called a hat trick. You just can throw whatever hat you have on the ice, as many as you want. So I guess they have a hat they don't like, so they just chuck that because you don't always get them back. Yeah, just 3 goals, chuck your hat on the ice.
And you play at Riverside Arena in Austin. Is that where you practice exclusively too, or do you move around?
Yeah, we practice at Riverside. We usually practice from 12 till 3 every day. If we have road trips or something, we might leave a day early, but we're usually practicing every day besides Sundays.
And how do you handle it here, just living, because you don't really know anybody? I mean, do you make friends quick?
Yeah, there's a couple high schoolers on our team, so they make some friends at the high school, but mostly we hang out with just the kids on the team, which is good because it's great bonding. It helps us, click quicker, get our on-ice play going a lot smoother, and get the smoother connection and chemistry.
And where do you live?
I mean, we live with random families. They're called billet families. Or
Billet
host families.
That's
yeah.
a kind of a military term, I think, or something.
Yeah, and I mean, they provide us with food, a place to sleep. Some of them have kids. You hang out with the kids, and I mean, you just hang out with the families. You get to know them. The families are all great. They always provide a lot for us, and we thank them very much for that.
And players from all over the place, like from around the U.S. or Canada?
We have European players. We have a guy from Czech. We have a guy from Sweden, and France.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is the language the same, hockey-wise, between the?
I mean, it's a little different. We have different styles, but they come in, and Coach Talk does a really good job working with them, so they start to understand our systems and our games and stuff, because American hockey is a little more physical and kind of aggressive up and down the ice hockey, where Europeans a little more finesse, and kind of touchy style, stuff like that.
Oh, so the sport is different in
Oh,
Europe.
yeah.
Not so much Canada, right? That's pretty
Canada's
similar?
pretty similar to us.
Yeah, it's like half and half. They have
Okay.
like our play mixed with their play.
But Europe is...
Europe's they're like you said, finesse. Like it's not like they don't like being hit, but it's more like that's control a puck. That's not really get rid of it. You know, where we'll dump the puck in and we'll go after it and hit you. Where they like to just keep control and have a more finesse game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Josh Brentner from North Potomac, Maryland, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Nick Lair from Roseville will be watching you on the ice this
Thank
year.
you very
Stay
much.
safe out there.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll be right back for more On Cue. Head coach coming up next.
You can watch On Cue anytime by visiting the KSMQ-TV website, ksmq.org.
Dropped all his pennies out of his
Picking up
pocket.
teeth.
Out. Oh.
And welcome back to On Cue, our special on Austin hockey and the Austin Bruins. And we're back this time with head coach and general manager of the Bruins, Chris Talk, back for his 4th season. Welcome.
Thanks much. Looking forward to a good one.
Hey, we were here last year talking. We had a hockey show. We were having a special on it. You came on. You had a lot of hope for a good season. Turned out that's exactly what happened. You had some real success on the ice.
Yeah, last year was real good. It was a very entertaining brand that was on the ice and a lot of fun to watch. And a lot of guys moved on to the next level, and we were able to put a few wins in the bank last season.
Yeah, and I asked the guys, who decides who gets to come out at the beginning? They turn off all the lights, have a bunch of strobe lights that go out, and the dry ice comes up, so there's fog, and they play this music, and guys get to come out of that ice and just kind of rock on.
Yeah, that's a decision I get to make, and we try to rotate it because it is a benefit. So if you're playing well, you're doing things in practice, or you played well in the past, we'll give you the edge to come on out and enjoy that moment.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We went to a half dozen or so contests last year, and it was a great time. The team, besides the hockey, I think your organization does a lot to try to entertain the fans in between those, whatever it is, 20-minute or 30-minute breaks between the periods?
Yeah, that's as much part of it as anything. You get a lot of different types of people in the building. Some of them really enjoy watching the game and the action. Some of them like the interaction where you can stand there and socialize with the neighbor, watching something exciting. Some people look forward to the intermission games and everything that goes on there. They can win something and walk out of the rink feeling good about themselves. So there's a lot of different things that happen that can make one enjoy an Austin Bruin hockey game.
And talking to the guys in the last segment, I didn't know that there was a different style of play with the European hockey player in general.
Yep.
And you have a kind of an international group that comes in, so you have to do a little bit of work there.
Yeah, we got to try to weave those guys. We don't want to break them from what they're used to playing. They have a pretty good skill set, and they can come over, they can move the puck, and we want to actually encourage some of the North American style hockey players to pick up on some of the puck skills they do, and then also get them bred a little bit into playing more north-south, a little quicker game. Probably the biggest factor that makes the difference is the size of rink. Over there they play on an Olympic hockey sheet, which is a lot bigger than an NHL standard size rink, and there's a lot more space and a lot more time in Europe versus playing over here in North America. Most rinks are smaller.
Okay, so that's a different style that they have to adapt to.
Yes.
When they come over here.
Yeah.
And some probably get it and some don't, or do they all pick it up pretty quick?
You know, the good ones pick it up pretty quick. They understand, hey, we got to do things quicker if I want to be successful. And but there's some that just aren't capable of doing things at the quick enough pace. But that's the same for, you know, even a North American Hockey League style player. They still sometimes they just can't pick up the pace and the processing of doing things quickly. And you know, it's just whether they have that gear inside their body to take themselves to the next level and become better.
And they were also very complimentary. It's nice that they get to improve their game and see it during the season. You work with them. Is there any trickle down to the local, say, Austin High School hockey team? Is there any kind of interaction there with some of those players? Well, some are on the team, but so they can improve their skill set by watching your guys.
Yep, they actually just had not a conversation with Eric, but a kind of a go-between. He kind of wanted to figure out our practice schedule where he could get their players to come watch us play and see how we do things. Yep. Eric's the head coach there of the high school team, and he wanted to get his kids to watch our guys play and see how hard we go and the little things and that we do right. And you know, we've offered a few of their players when the time permits for them to come out and skate with us. And then also they're going to be having captains practices that go on, and our 2 assistant coaches will go out there and run those practices so they can get a feel for, you know, the demand that we put on our players.
How do you have a draft? How do you find these young men in Europe, for instance?
The European players are different than the North, but I've coached at the Division I level, have a lot of contacts up at that level, and they typically watch players that play over there, or they find a player that they want to bring into their school, and they understand that, been around the business a little bit, know how to develop hockey players, and we, you know, put players on to the next level. They're usually prepared to play, and so they'll call up and say, hey, we got this kid, he's this type of player, are you looking for this, can you know, help us out? And you know, like Guillaume Leclerc, he came from France, knew nothing about him, but the school that he committed to, we had Christian Fall and a previous player go there, another CJ Smith committed there, so there's a little bit of working relationship, and you know, now they're reciprocating, sending us a player.
So is it every team for itself as far as finding players, or is there some large-scale organized event?
I mean, there's large-scale events where you can go and recruit, but it's each individual club's responsibility to go out and recruit them. We have 8 tenders where you can sign any player, and then they would become your property. Kind of like a free agent. A lot of these players are free agents up until May 30th when it was our draft, and you can tender a player from November 1st until that point, you know, basically free agent. You like a player, you see him, you go talk to him, you got to sell him about your program, the good things you do, and get them to commit to your program, and then there's a draft on May 30th where you draft players as well.
Okay, so there's a little bit, I was thinking of the corollary with like the Rochester Honkers of the Northwoods League. It's a college league, so it's not the same because those young men are already in a college program. And these folks are like, your guys are like in between. They're hoping for that. Yep.
Every single one of our guys is looking to go to the next level, whether it be Division I or Division III, or some of our younger guys moving on up to the Tier 1 USHL. So they're all striving to make themselves better, just like the coaches and staff, you know, trying to get to a better place and better development.
And around the Midwest, who would be a Division I? Obviously, University of Minnesota and UMD, University of Minnesota Duluth. What else?
Mankato State, University of Nebraska Omaha, Bemidji State, St. Cloud State. There's Wisconsin.
They're one. They're all those folks.
All those are Division I. St. Cloud State. Those are all the Colorado College, Denver. Those are all kind of, you know, the Midwest and the Division I schools.
And then the 3 Division III are others that have a hockey program, basically?
Yeah. You know, St. Olaf, St. Thomas, Bethel. You got University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire, which won the national title last year, where Chris Fisher, our captain, is going. UW-Stout, we got 2 players going there. So it's quite a few.
My own alma mater, I didn't know that. Well, I guess I did. I went to Eau Claire, but I guess I had a chance to buy a T-shirt last year. I saw that, so I hadn't followed. They won the whole enchilada.
They did. They were out in Lake Placid, and a good friend of ours, Bob Thorpe, is one of the coaches there, and Matt Lowen, and they did a great job getting themselves to that position and winning the national championship.
I know it's early, but can you talk about your team this year, your squad? How does it look? Is there much difference? You lost 5 players, I think, to the bigs, the Division 1 and 3.
Yep. Yeah, we lost 5 moving up there, and we lost just a couple to the USHL. So we have 9 returning Austin Bruins, and we lost a lot of proven scoring. 5 of our top 6 scorers, and they put up a lot of points last year. We had a high octane offense that could score at any moment, and if you look the wrong way, you could miss a highlight reel goal last year. This year, we're not going to have that capability coming out of the gate. We're going to have to play a more honest style, getting to the net, creating scoring chances. Just for example, last Saturday we played an exhibition game and we put 53 shots on net, and we came away with 4 goals. And it's like, if that would have been last year's team, we would have had 8 to 10. We had quality scoring chances, but guys just don't have the calm in their veins, the nerve to grab it and make a good play and throw it under the bar. They kind of like, oh, I got a scoring champ, and they kind of jam it right back into the goalie, and they make the goalie look good. But we got to teach guys, and they got to get used to playing in the fire and being able to execute.
Well, and through the season, those skills will develop.
Exactly, and that's our job as coaches, is to help them get better.
Wonderful. Well, Chris, good to see you again here on the show. Thanks for coming in. Best of luck on a season, and it's always a fun time, win or lose out there. So it's great to watch the Bruins. Thanks, Chris. Talk.
Thanks for having us. It's great.
You bet. Coach and General Manager of your Austin Bruins. Stay with us. Our Vision 2020 update coming your way next here on Cue.
Queue up your own comments for On Cue and send them to us at onq@ksmq.org. On Cue's Vision 2020 segment is brought to you by Hormel Foundation, Games People Play, and Turtle Creek Estates.
Welcome back. Community pride and spirit is what we're talking about today with Vision 2020, and Brigitte Campbell from that committee joins us. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
And maybe, folks, you've seen those signs around in front of a few homes, primarily in the Northeast. You're out fixing homes as an initiative. Tell us how that's going.
That's right. So this is part of the Community Pride and Spirit Committee of Vision 2020. I'm with Habitat for Humanity, and together with HRA and Vision 2020, we've partnered up to complete some home renovation, exterior renovation projects, mainly in the northeast part of town. There's sort of a targeted neighborhood there that we've been working in.
And what's the reason, why is that important to Vision 2020?
Well, Vision 2020 sees a better Austin by the year 2020, and part of that is just cleaning up our neighborhoods and helping out the people whose homes are in need of some repair and some cleanup, who maybe didn't have the financial or physical or other means to get that work done. So we're stepping in to help them out and partner up with them to get this work done.
All right. Also interesting, I think, as part of this exercise, is just as important as fixing the homes is the collaboration between various agencies. Talk a little about that.
So we're working with the homeowners as well as volunteers and organizations and churches throughout the community who are interested in helping, and this is bringing about a feeling of community and togetherness at these projects, and as a result, people are feeling more connected to their community and their neighbors.
Is that a challenge for you as executive of Habitat for Humanity, where I would imagine you have certain guidelines and ways of doing business, and then you're working with the HRA, other organizations, maybe in the past they haven't worked that much together? Is there some learning going on there, or not really?
There's certainly some learning going on, but I think the organizations have all taken on their own role, and we sort of know who's doing what. So at Habitat, we are responsible for managing all of the volunteers and making sure the volunteers are covered under our insurance umbrella. So there's definitely that piece in place, that the volunteers are registered and have signed waivers through Habitat. HRA has sort of acted as the fiscal agent for the project. Vision 2020 has been very organizational and making sure that the projects, who's who and what are we doing. Habitat, we have a program. It's called A Brush with Kindness. It's very similar to what CHIP is doing. We go out and do exterior home renovation projects. So our A Brush with Kindness coordinator has been very key in this project. He knows what work needs to be done and how to get that work accomplished.
And we should say CHIP is the acronym for Community Home Improvement Project, which is what we're kind of calling
yes.
this. And so this has worked well this year, I'd assume. Are there plans on the horizon for next year?
Oh yes, definitely. There's plans. We would love to see by the year 2020, we'd love to see 500 home projects completed. It's a lofty goal, but we think we can do it. So, looking at next year as we're wrapping up this year's projects, looking ahead to next year, we're already recruiting homeowners for next year, recruiting volunteers who want to step in and help out. So, yeah, if anybody is interested, they can call Habitat or Laura at the Vision 2020 office.
Okay, and as far as the homes themselves, as you mentioned, you find the potential. They don't sign up for it?
No, they can certainly sign up for it. If they own their own home and it's in need of some exterior projects, they can call us, certainly, definitely. We don't have to come to you. You can come to us as well.
Okay, wonderful. Well, Brigitte, thank you very much. Brigitte Campbell is Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity in Austin, and we've been talking about the CHIP program, Community Home Improvement Project. I'm Eric Olson. Thanks for joining us this time on On Cue. We'll see you again.
On Cue is a production of KSMQ Television in Austin, nonprofit public television.